Good morning. It's a bright and sunny morning as well after all of these storms, and it's absolutely gorgeous this morning. Just set off at 7 o'clock and it's Thursday the 20th of June. I've got a little problem with my camera actually. I can't kind of turn the viewfinder around so that I can actually see whether this is on my face properly. And I've got a spare camera with me and that's doing exactly the same this morning. So out of the 4 cameras I've got, they've all got a similar complaint now, which is wear and tear. I think I might have had this viewfinder open and closed so many times for all of them really. I think it's just they've got a bit worn out really. Still work perfectly okay, but there's certain things that you can't do. Anyway, not to worry. I'm on a long stretch of road here. This is going to be a 16 miles walk. There's 1 or 2 cars around, but not too many. It's nothing like Essex at this time in the morning anyway, let's put it that way. And my intention is to walk all the way to Aldeburgh, which is about 5 to 6 hours. It's around about 16 miles. I would think all of it's going to be on the road. I'm not going to see anything of the sea today until I get to Aldeburgh, which is where I was and enjoyed those wonderful fish and chips with my friend Peter. Peter called me last night actually. We had a lovely conversation and I spoke to his wife Margaret and we had a good laugh. It was really good humoured conversation. And Margaret, I've never, well, I don't, to be honest, I don't ever remember seeing her when I was in Southport. I certainly haven't spoken to her, but what a lovely woman. It was very nice. And I've spent 2 days in the caravan, sorry, the camper van, and that's because I had a bit of what I thought was a groin strain, and the more I think about it, it's more like a vein in my leg which runs from my groin to my knee, and I put some of that cream on that the doctor gave me to treat my ankle, and it seems to have brought me back to life. It's quite amazing really. This cream's incredible stuff. It's like a gel, and it seems to have had an instant effect, and I'm walking perfectly normal. I was walking perfectly normal yesterday as well, but it was just the weather forecast was for rain all day. Well, it didn't happen, and I could have walked yesterday, but I couldn't have gone a third day, to be honest, like sitting in the van. Again, I've been quite inundated with new friend requests and lots of people coming to me now on to try and raise my numbers on the subscriptions on YouTube. I've got some figures here while I'm walking along where it's nice and quiet. Just bear with me while I just tell you the latest score. Right, here we are. Well, 2 things actually. The film that I put on the other day with Peter, the last film I put on, where we went off to the seaside and had the breakfast and went and saw that wonderful house, if you remember. Sorry, the wonderful hotel in Felixstowe. It's broken a record because it's the first time ever I've had over 300 views in 24 hours. I had 317 views in 24 hours, which is the most I've ever had. So I'm quite pleased about that. And my subscriptions this morning, just before I left, 728, which still means I need, well, over 250. I need, well, to be precise, I need 272. So I'm going to have to bang on about this, I'm afraid, because I'll tell you the situation, and this is honestly as I understand it. I got a message from YouTube not long ago saying that my site was one of several that are probably earmarked for deleting purely because I haven't got 1,000 subscribers. So I've got until the 22nd of July to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, the work that Bri did for me to pass it on to his people, and several other people have made an effort, but I'll be dead honest with you, not enough people have made enough effort, and please don't misunderstand me. I want you to take this seriously, because if I don't get to 1,000 subscriptions by the 22nd of July, my site will be closed. So if you want to just watch me disappear, then do nothing. But if you really want to help me, please can you take this very seriously, otherwise I'll stop the walk at Grimsby on the 14th of July, and I won't be carrying on unless I've got a YouTube site, and that's the condition, and there's nothing I can do about it other than ask you people to please take me seriously and help me. Thank you. And that's the only way I'm going to survive this, and all of this effort and all this planning and all the rest of it will just go down the drain. So that's the black and white honest situation. And I've got, I don't know, 700 people on the gym's Coastal Path Walk. I've got 400 friends on my timeline, so that's 1,100. Then I've got loads of people who are followers, about, I don't know how many people, about 500. I've got all these people, and yet I'm struggling with this. And I do these films for you. You enjoy them, you obviously like them, doing all right with it. But I'm struggling and I need some help. So please, all I need you to do is, if you're on YouTube and you're watching me at this minute, then please don't forget to subscribe at the end, and then all our problems are over. If you think about it, I had 318 views in 24 hours. If every single person of that people who watched in that 24 hours subscribed, I wouldn't be having this conversation. And so it is vitally important, and it's one of the other worries that I've got about one or two things, including my wife. And I don't want to be walking along now thinking, well, this is all going to finish on the 22nd of July. I don't want that. I want to be crossing the line as soon as I can, so I can get it off my mind. And there's no other way of me doing this than actually appealing to you. And yeah, there was a little surge initially for the first few days, but it's just petered out. All of a sudden it's finished. And I need you to help me for my survival and for me to want to continue to do the walk, because as I say, without a YouTube channel and filming all of this and the whole story, and I've still got 1,500 miles to go, you're not going to see me again. So if you don't help me, don't wonder where I've gone on the 22nd of July. And that's it, and that is from the heart, and that is being absolutely dead honest. I'm not being facetious or nasty or shouting or anything like that. I'm just saying, come on, please. You know, that's all you need to do. Click a button saying subscribe. That's all you have to do. It'll take you 10 seconds. Otherwise, I'm out of business. Finish. So my plan today is straightforward. I'm just walking from the campsite which I've just left. Fantastic campsite it is as well, lovely people there, and I'm walking all the way through to Aldeburgh, which is where you saw Peter and I eating those lovely fish and chips, and I'm hoping to do the same today. And I've got one or two people that I said I'd call and see when I got back into Aldeburgh, and then I've got a bit of a problem because it's how I'm going to get back could be a problem, because I can get a bus to Woodbridge, but to get a bus back to Hollesley, they have a community bus. And yesterday I had to walk down to the shop. I needed some supplies, and I called in for a pint at the pub and was speaking to the barmaid, a lovely girl called Helen, who gave me all the information that I need to be able to try and book the community bus, which you need to give 24 hours notice to. Well, I'd missed that. I'd gone past the deadline, and to tell you the kind of people that I come across, and this won't be the first like this, she said, well, and she joined me on, she didn't subscribe, she joined me on Facebook, but she says, well, if you get in a jam, she says, at Woodbridge, don't worry, just give me a call and I'll come and pick you up. And I thought, that's absolutely wonderful. What a lovely gesture. And I've also got the number of the pub, so I can give them a ring if that's the case. And if it comes to it, all I'll do is get a taxi. I don't spend much money on taxis. I haven't done throughout this trip. I think I've caught a taxi on maybe 3 or 4 occasions out of 400 and something days, so that's not bad. And we're not talking about a great distance. It'd only probably cost about a tenner, maybe 20 quid at the very most. So I'm not going to get stranded or anything like that, but we'll just see how it goes. I've got a lovely day ahead of me. I know it's only early, I know there's not much traffic, and I've got quite a bit of road walking to do, but I'm looking forward to this. It's nice to be back on the road again, and I'll be editing this tonight, and then I'll be moving up to Aldeburgh tomorrow with the intention of walking to Southwold, which will be a nice place to get to, and I'm going to have a busy weekend walking to make up for the time that I've lost this week. So I hope this picture's come out all right. I'm just guessing that this camera's actually, got a good angle. I hope it's not looking straight up my nose, but I think I've got there with it, and I'll have to repair it when I get back to the van later. So here we go. It's a pity I couldn't transmit the smell to you. It's so strong, of all these nettles and plants. It's incredible. It's like smelling paint. It's that kind of pungent. It's amazing. Just absolutely freshly cut. Just to tell you as well that I had a surprise telephone call last night from my good friend Bry. It was great to actually talk to him, and we've only known each other, known to each other for probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we had a lovely telephone conversation. What a lovely bloke he is, and we're talking about maybe getting together in the not too distant future to sort of chew the fat over a coffee somewhere, and we're just talking about that, where I don't know when or where yet, but it was great to actually talk to the great man. It was lovely, and we've got a little bit more in common than you think. I mean, we're both sort of musicians, and I asked him to look up some stuff because he's got a site called Purple Haze, which today, as you know, he's got his 20th. He always sort of makes an effort, and he's going to make an effort in selling a picture on behalf of me and Trish, and the proceeds are going to go to the Cancer Research Fund, which again is a great gesture. But I asked him if he would have a look at my days with the band Purple Haze in Bulgaria, which he did do, and his little comment at the end of it was "love it," and it was 3 of his favourite songs: Foxy Lady, which was one of them, the first one, A Little Wing, and then Voodoo Child, which we played live at a big concert in Sofia, and I'm very pleased that he liked it. It was a great concert, that. I really enjoyed it. So I'm doing all right. I'm going to show you a few shots of the fields and everything. There's not a breath of wind. The trees are absolutely dead still. You could hear a pin drop out here, and it's lovely to be walking and heading for the seaside. Past 10 now, and I've met this lovely guy called Caelan, and he's from Wales, and he's working here at this farm. So what kind of work do you do here then, Caelan?
I'm an agricultural contractor.
Yes.
Bit of everything, all vegetable grown here.
Yes.
We've got about 3,500 acres.
Wow.
And it's pretty much work.
I'll bet it is. I mean, obviously a seasonal job, you know, you're here to earn some money, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. Started here in March 27th.
Yes.
And I'll be leaving here about end of September when the season finishes.
Oh, that's great. Now, whereabouts are you from in Wales?
Midwest, well, more northwest really, up in the hills there with the sheep and windmills.
Yes.
And yeah, it's beautiful scenery, and anybody who gets to walk it, definitely walk it.
Well, yes, I mean, I've experienced that. I mean, I think I told you I did the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path, which is exceptionally beautiful, and the people of Wales are extremely friendly, every one of them, including yourself. And thank you for the donation to the Cancer Research Fund.
Always support cancer when I can.
Well, yes, and that's very nice of you, and it's close to my heart, obviously, because my wife's been affected by it. But it's been a real pleasure meeting you. I was saying to you, I can't remember the name of the place where I went to, where I had to walk right up the river to Carmarthen, and I was staying at Gowerton, but my memory for names has gone completely. It goes in one ear and out of the other. But it's been a real pleasure to meet you, and thank you very much indeed.
Not a problem.
You're a lovely guy.
You.
Cheers,
Safe
mate.
walking.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye now. It's just after 12 o'clock now, and I'm stepping it out quite well actually. I'm finding it quite easy. I'm not having any problem with the legs. The roads are much better. There's nowhere near as much traffic as there was in Essex, and they're very polite drivers and they wave at you and stuff like that. It's a completely different atmosphere. I'm about probably a mile and a half, that's about half an hour away from Snape, which I'm looking forward to going to. When Peter and I went out for a ride the other day, we went up through Snape, and they've got a mill there and all that kind of stuff, and some shops and things, and it looks quite an attractive kind of place. And you must have heard me say this hundreds of times, I'm gagging for a cup of tea. There's been nowhere to get a drink at all. I did stop at a farmhouse, as you saw, and got my water refreshed and spoke to a very nice Welsh guy. And I'm using a pallet at the moment as a seat. It's better than nothing, better than sitting on the grass anyway. And then it's going to be quite a long walk from Snape all the way through to Aldeburgh. And but I'm not worried about that. I'm doing well, making good progress, and I'll see you when I get to Snape. bumped into Gary and Kay, and Kay is not likely to say much because she's a little bit camera shy. So please don't worry about that. So Gary, you're both like avid bird watchers. Have you been doing this for a long time, many years?
About 10 years now. Yeah,
Right.
about 10 years seriously. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that this particular area is a good one then for you.
Suffolk, and we're going on to Norfolk next week.
Yes.
Are lovely. Yes, especially at this time of year.
Yes. So what would you expect to find in this particular wood then?
Well, we've done about 30 odd species through not just the wood,
Yes.
but out on the heath and then down into the estuary and then into the reed beds. So it's a multi-habitat walk. This one, lovely.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't pretend at all to be an avid bird watcher, but I've got a massive interest in it. I was telling you that I used to live in Sophia, and you could get the birds to feed off your hand. And you rather surprised me to say that you can do that in Scotland.
You can do. The only one I've seen, I've seen people do robins, but the only one I've seen en masse is sort of chaffinches in Scotland. Yeah, in some of the forests up there, I've seen. There's so many of them that they get people friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the cheeky little things, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's what I like. I think great tits are probably my favourite bird because they are really sort of, they're really mobile and they're lovely. I love them as a bit.
Rather common.
Well, yes, but nevertheless,
lovely,
they just seem to have a kind of a cheeky personality, don't they? They're just really bold. That's what I find. But with jays, I particularly like jays. I think
jays, very intelligent birds. Yes,
Yeah.
we saw a jay, didn't we? Yeah, on the walk. Yeah,
I saw several of them in Kent when I was in. Now, just think Margate.
Right.
In between on the you've been to Kent around the edge there between sort of Margate and Ramsgate, and I saw several, and it was lovely to see them. I haven't seen them for years. It was really nice.
Good bird.
So, do you live locally?
We live in a place called Gampton in South Devon.
Right. Okay. So we were talking. It's Dartmouth.
Near Dart.
area.
Oh, it's River Dart.
Yes, I remember the crossing from one side to the other. There was a really efficient kind of ferry at that time.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's
And
right. And all winter as well, which is nice, all year round.
But the talking point there is that many of the houses are taken as second homes. Because I went to Salcombe, and I think about 80%.
Yeah.
It's got to about 80% now.
Yeah, Salcombe's strictly bad. I think Kingswear is going in that direction. Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul Perrow was like that as well. And but it's a shame, really. But then again, I mean, the people have a choice whether to sell the houses or not, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I remember going into the co-op in Salcombe, and I said to them, "Are you closing down?" Because they had hardly any stock on the shelves. And they said, "No, this is our winter stock." There's only 20% of the population left, and there's only 2 pubs, and the community's just like fallen apart, isn't it? It's sad, isn't it? Really.
Not quite the same on our side of the. That's on our side of Devon. We're part of Tor Bay, so it's a little bit more.
Yes, I agree with you. It was like that. Well, look, it's been lovely meeting you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I know you're shy, Kay, but let me just finish off by saying goodbye to you.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you.
to meet
Good
you.
luck with the rest of you.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck.
Thank you. Yes, that's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sophia.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye now.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Okay, you take care.
Jake, and I'm walking in one direction and he's walking in the other, and he's got quite a big backpack on there that's full of stuff. So how much does that weigh, Jake?
About 40 kg.
40k.
Yeah.
Blimey, that's what have you got in there?
I've got my tent.
All right.
Just trying it out. So
That's a good idea. So are you going far then?
About 10 more miles that way. I've just come from Aldeburgh.
Yes. Do you live in Aldeburgh then?
Yeah.
What a lovely place. Fantastic fish shop.
There's two of them.
Yes, I know. And they're owned by the same people apparently.
Yes,
but the
same
little
guy.
pub, the little pub was lovely as well, next to the far one. The fish and chips were quite immense. It was, and the price was really good. It was a really large haddock and chips and mushy peas for £6.
Yeah, it's
which
not bad.
It's brilliant. That's like Grimsby prices, to be honest with you.
Well, if you go to the chip shop, then you can eat them in the pub. So.
Oh, they allow you to do that?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, well, that's very good. So, are you into walking in a big way then, or have you been doing it long?
Just started actually this summer, so
Right.
so not long, but hoping to keep it going.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, you've got it's a nice surrounding area, Suffolk, isn't it? It's certainly a lot quieter than Essex was.
A lot of green.
There is a lot of green. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, I wish you every success, mate. Now, and have you've got everything? Is it all new stuff you have got in there then? So
I've tried it out a few times.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well, the best of luck, and it's very nice to see a fit young lad like you on the coastal path, and it's a lovely surprise to meet younger people. I'm trying to encourage all of these people in the mid-60s who are just retiring to actually get some walking done, but you don't see many.
I'm trying to keep it going.
You don't see many people, younger people like such as. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now then?
About 23.
23. Well, that's brilliant. Well done, mate.
Yeah, and good luck with your.
Nice to meet you, Jake. Lovely.
Good luck with your walking.
Thank you very much indeed. Cheers now.
Cheers.
Bye.
opposite barriers of the Rock Barracks.
Right.
So towards the Light Army base.
Yes.
And obviously we have farmland, and there's going to be a lot of woodland coming up.
Yes.
And we're driving towards Hollesley, which caters for the prison guard, which is Hollesley Bay and Warren Hill, which is security, top security. Right. And also
So I've just dropped in at the Shepherd and Dog as I was walking in, having done this walk today to Aldeburgh, and I've just had 1 pint and I'm off back to the van now and to do some editing and all the usual things. And this is Sam, who's a very informative young lady, who my daughter's called Sam, so there's a connection. And so Sam, you say where I should park tomorrow in Aldeburgh?
In Aldeburgh, so it's called Demon Yachts. It's the Aldeburgh Boatyard, and it's just down towards the yacht club. And yeah, see if you can park there for the night.
Well, yes, that's lovely, and because I'll only be staying for one night, you know, what I tend to do is book a site. Well, not book a site. I find a site for 2 or 3 days because you need a shower, you need to wash your clothes and tidy up and all that. But then I do a bit of wild camping. You can't afford to spend 25 quid a night on camping when you're doing, you know, I'm 450 odd days into this walk. If I was to spend that kind of money, can you imagine how much that would be? So you've got to look after your money. But your advice has been wonderful, and it's funny, I was in here yesterday talking to Helen, who was a very lovely, helpful barmaid, and you've been just the same, Sam. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
And you, best of luck.
You've got a card,
yes,
and I mean, I might stay the extra day. I've had a bit of a groin strain, and I've just got to see how I feel in the morning, and then I'll make a decision what I'm going to do. I've got loads of paperwork to do, because when I get to Grimsby, the Grimsby Telegraph, which is the local paper, is making quite a big issue of it, and also cancer research, and I've got lots of paperwork to do, filling forms in and things for permission to carry buckets for collections, and to have it where if there's going to be more than 50 people, it's got to be legally binding, where it doesn't encroach on, you know, there's all sorts of stuff in the background that people don't realise. It's not just a case of let's go for a walk, you know. And but it's been lovely to meet you.
Yeah, and you.
You're a lovely woman.
And well done. Good on you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been
brilliant.
lovely. Thank
brilliant.
you. Bye.
All right. Best of luck.
Cheers.
Lovely to meet you.
Bye now.
See you.
Bye.